Floss Tube. I am Molly West, and today I'm going to film my WIP parade. It's been almost a year since I filmed my last one, and so here we go. The first thing that I will show you, this is in lieu of a typical floss tube, so I will let you know if there's something that I've worked on in the last couple of weeks, and I'll show you which area I worked on. But I finally finished this piece, which is Scattered Seed Samplings, Faithful Friends. And I stitched this 1/2 on 40 count natural raw. And he's done. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with that yet, but he's finished. That was my only finish, and that's okay. This piece I am actually in the middle of working on, so it will go right back into the pile next to my stitchy chair. And it is Hannah Longstreth Queenstown Sampler. And I am stitching this in all of the called for NPI silks. And it is on 36 count antique white. And I am here. And when I work on this piece, I don't put it away until I have finished one of the motifs. So I just started this motif, and as soon as it's finished, I will tuck it away. And I love this piece. It's a long-term project. I am in no rush because look at how many motifs there are. That's a lot. There's no hurry. I would say I finish one about every 5 or 6 months. I'll pull this one out and put in a motif. So there's no rush here. Let's see. And I did work on that in the last couple of weeks, and we'll continue working on it. I also worked a bit on my Liberty Eagle by Blackbird Design. I'm actually doing this one. I showed you the wrong one. And this is as far as I've gotten on him. This is a piece of 40 count. Let's see if I have it inside here. It looks like platinum. Oh, it's cream. 40 count cream. And he's moving right along, slow and steady. I did not work on this one since you've seen it last, but this is the Nativity by Sarah Giermani. Okay, so this is how far I've gotten on the Nativity by Sarah Giermani, and let me pull it up closer. The last few times that I've worked on it, I've worked in the manger scene. The pink lions are just marking threads. And this one's moving right along. The bit that I'm in right now is full coverage, and so it's taking me a while to get through, but once I'm finished with the manger scene, I will have lots of animals and individual people, and it should move much faster, a lot more negative space at that point. And it's beautiful, and I still love working on it. I did work on this one a little bit in the last few weeks, and it is by Filigram. The name of it is the Cranberry Plant. And I have worked in, let's see, this is 40 count. It looks like a piece of cream, 40 count cream or antique white. And I am working my way, let's see, where am I here? This direction. So this is the size it will end up being, and I have worked my way down through here so that I could start working on the frog. Right there, there's a cute little frog, and I'm trying to work my way down to him. So this is where it is, and I'm still loving that one too, and I'm doing that 1/2 with my own overdyed cotton flosses. Okay, the next one one, oh, this was a new start. Ashley's Roses. Mirabilia, and let's see. Not a ton of progress, friends. Oh, and that's my back. Here's my front. So this is where I am on this one. I've only given it a few hours, but it is going to be absolutely beautiful. I've loved this pattern for a long time. It was one of my unicorns. When I found it for sale on, I think it may have been on Amazon, is where I found that one. I snatched it. I was so excited. So that was my one of my more recent Mirabilia Mondays. And then here's another Mirabilia, and this one is Princess Elena. I am so sorry. This last one was on 32 count, and I coffee and tea dyed this piece myself. It was white, and I coffee and tea dyed it for the Ashley's Roses. Actually, I coffee dyed this. I didn't even add any tea. I just coffee dyed it, and I use instant grounds in extremely hot water. The next piece I'm working on is Princess Elena. Ooh, sorry about that, friends. And she's on 32 count Lavender Lugana. And I put more, oh, I just heard a kiddo get up. I put more stitches in her this time. And she's moving right along. This is looking so, so good. I am in, let's see, I'm still down in the dress. I'm working from here that way. And I'm really, really happy with my progress on her. The next piece is, this piece is, let's see, Romantic Mademoiselle by RTO. This is a new start for me. Here's the cover. The artwork is by Donald Roller Wilson. And I have barely started, but it's full coverage, and I am doing this 1/1 on 20 full cross on 28 count Monaco, and I put in, I think, a little over 500 stitches, so not much, but it's started, and I'm loving it. So that's all that matters. And that was passed on to me by a friend. I know it's super hard to find. It was passed on to me by a friend, and I am returning it to that friend. The next one that I am working on is my travel piece, and it's Modern Folk Embroidery Ave Maria. Pull it out for you. And a good bit of work done on this. I'm really proud of my progress. I am still working on the angel, and I have finished the halo. This is actually the back wing, the second wing. It took me a moment to figure out. And this is the wing that's closer to the front, and I've gotten a start on that. So I made a lot of progress on this in the last few weeks. And it looks beautiful, and the more I work on it, the more I love it. It is on 32 count even weave, and in the color cobblestone, dark cobblestone. And I love working on it. That one makes me very happy. All of them do, though. There are a couple that I'm a little on the fence about, but we'll get to that in a minute. This piece also goes back into my pile of things to work on today. It's my GGR Brigid Power, and I'm about to finish the top 2/5, which is right across this line. And so anyone who's, I know I've had a couple people that have asked about, you know, just doing the basket alone. And I think it would be absolutely gorgeous, and I'm about to show it probably on my next floss tube. I have started working in that section, but because I've color completed so far and I'm not towards the end of my month, it's not there yet. So I am still working in the bottom, what is this to you all, left-hand corner. Let's see, I'm trying to see what I'm showing you. And I am stitching this on Picture This Plus 28 count Moon Glow Lugana, and in my opinion, this stitches, it, as with a lot of Picture This Plus, it stitches more like a 32 count to me, because the fabric is very, very dense, and it's just, I love this. I'm super, super happy with how this is turning out. I have, I've only put in one of my 4 days on page, what would that be? Page 8, my 8th page. And so hopefully by the end of August, I will have the entire top 2/5 finished, and I can show you all what it would look like if you were to stop there. The bottom 3/5 is going to be beautiful, and there is a lot of 1/1, and so I'm going to have to show myself a lot of patience and a lot of grace working through all of that, and I may need to reallocate some of my other stitching days. I don't know that 4 days is going to cut it for all of the over 1 I have in this area. Even, I mean, there's just a ton of it in the bottom 3/5. So I'm just gonna have to try and be really patient with myself. It's a beautiful chart. I love stitching on it. I love the colors. I am using cotton overdyed that I've selected. It calls for DMCs, and I have just selected my own cotton overdyes. And I'm still really enjoying working on that, and it will be coming out again very soon. This piece has received all 4 of its days. This is Virtue by Long Dog Sampler, and I do not have a color copy of the chart. I only have a black and white. I will insert a color copy of this chart. Here. And this is how far I have gotten on this piece. It is on 28 count white. I'm using all of the called for DMCs, and since you've seen this the last time that you saw it, I had all 4 corners stitched in of the border, and the entire border looked like this bit. So some of the purple flowers had been stitched in, and that was it. So I've completed some of, I would say the majority of the top of the border. I'm missing some butterflies, and I'm missing some stems in the border. And because I had been working on the border for so long, I moved in and started on some of the interior motifs. And this is 2/2 on 28 count. And I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm still hoping to get this piece finished by next April for Autism Awareness. Okay. My next WIP is a somewhat recent start within the last couple of months, and it is by Carriage House Samplings, Nature's Piece. I am stitching this on 40 count Vertil, which is a 40 count even weave. And I'm stitching it with my own I'm sorry, not called for. I'm stitching it with overdyed threads that I've selected. And I have worked on this some since the last time that you saw it. I pulled out some of the green in this tree and stitched in using a different green. And I think it shows up better. It's still pretty muted, but the last green was just entirely too yellow and almost met the color of the coffee dye. Coffee dyed. This was bright white. And then I put in a flower and just little bits, not much on this one. That's okay. I did get all the green picked out, and that always takes a long time on 40 count. Okay, I worked on this one. This is Nora Corbett, and I believe it's called the Rain Queen. The Rain Queen. And the first time that I've only worked on this twice, the first time that I worked on it, I put in the very lightest. There are only 2 colors on this that I filled in so far. The first time I put in the light blue, this time I put in the slightly darker aqua color. And this is on a 28 count mushroom Lugana. And so all of the darker color aqua I put in this most recent time. And I used that for a Mirabilia Monday on one of my Mondays. And I felt like that was pretty good progress. These are not large charts, and so hopefully she won't take me a super long time. Okay, and then I have, let's see, a start and a finish. I pulled out my heartstring samplery Christmas ornaments. What are they called? Advent candle ornament set. And obviously I stitched this on 32 count taupe Lugana. And I start and finished only one, but I plan to do the entire set. And there's my start and finish. There are errors in here, and I've left it. It will be out a few days a year. It's not going on my wall permanently. It's fine. So I'm going to keep this. This may end up being a travel piece for me because it's Lugana, and I'm using sulky threads that I just selected from, I've got one of those big, I've got a couple of the big boxes of sulky, and so I just selected my own threads from there. And then I have another new start. So this next one is from the Spirit of Christmas, Leisure Arts from 1991. That's the front cover. And I worked on one of these ornaments. I started this one right here. And I selected sulky threads, and I am using the same piece of fabric that I used on the other ornament. And this is how far I've gotten on that. So, like I said, these might become travel pieces. And I've inserted these Teresa Kogut's so that I can, just in case I need something a little different feeling to work on. I'm just going to keep all of these things together for Christmas stitching. Okay, I'm going to put the stuff away and bring out round 2. See you in just a second. So I'm back with round 2. This one is the Snow Queen. And she was on my giveaway last time. I'm actually going to draw for on my next regular floss tube. I just have too much going on today. This is how much I have stitched on her. This is 28 count mushroom Lugana. And I'm not the type that highlights. I don't make working copies. I typically have the ability to figure out exactly where I left off and then just continue on from there. I only glanced at my chart for a minute. I'm a little confused as to exactly what this is. So I am going to give this a moment. I'm going to set this aside so that I can figure out what it is that I've stitched there. It's just all called for colors. The next one is Hester Van Dorn. And I am using Gentle Arts Soot, and she is stitched on 40 count Legacy. And I am still mostly working on the border. I've moved inside a bit, but that border has kept me busy. And I'm in no big rush on her. But she sure is lovely. Next, I have, what is this? Oh, ink circles. Forest of Sumatra. And I am working on this one 1/1 on 28 count coffee tea dyed Monaco. And I'm using Weeks Dye Works collards. And this is where I am. I have finished page 1 and I've worked the other half of this medallion in page 2. And that's it, and that's okay. I've done that since the last time that you guys saw it, and sometimes a little bit of progress is fine. You gotta give yourself some grace. I've had a busy couple of weeks. I think a lot of folks have. Oh, this actually, okay. This is going to be a new start. I'm gonna start this the week of Thanksgiving. I feel like a lot of the colors are very Thanksgiving-ish. There are like cornucopias in here. And I thought that I had all of the DMCs, but I now officially have all of the DMCs. I will be stitching this on 28 count Moon Glow by Picture This Plus. Oh, it's in like double layer. It's the exact same that I'm stitching Bridget Color on. Okay. So that's actually, let me move that. That was in the wrong pile. But that will be a Thanksgiving new start. This is, what is this? Beats me. Oh, this is my Dimensions kit. And I have not worked on this since you've seen it last. I have started one of the 6 ornaments. And I've got probably the top 5th of it complete, minus backstitch. But I enjoyed it. I've only stitched on it one time for one day, and it was fun. So I'll look forward to getting back to that maybe in November or so. The next one is a recent start. I've started a lot of things, y'all. I need to cut back. I've had startitis. I don't do Mayhem or March Madness or any of those things. So, you know, just stitch what you want to stitch, pull out what you like. All right, next one is Polly by the Traveling Stitcher. I've had people comment that they weren't able to see the picture well, and I will tell you that's because there's not much to see. All of the threads are basically faded. It is not a good picture. The bird's beak is up here, the head, and then the neck pulls back this way. Not only are the threads muted with this one, and I'm getting a lot of reflection from my window, not only are the threads muted with this one, but also there are negative areas inside of the bird itself. And so it's just a very, very interesting piece. And I am stitching this, I think this was a 36 count and it was a mystery. If I had to guess, I would say it's Winter Moon. That's what it looks like to me. I have barely started. I have the beak and that's all I have. I've kind of thought about doing like one day a week where I just work on some of my bird pieces. I have a lot of birds. You know who else has a lot of birds? Kim, the Contented Stitcher. We love the birds. Okay, here's another one. This is a Birds of a Feather Summer. She is so wonderful. Oh, y'all. I mean, shut the front door. She is amazing. Here's where I am on her. And it's almost fall, so I guess I'll be pulling out the fall piece, which is also so out of control, fabulous. I cannot wait to work on that one. This is on 28 count, white Zweigart, even weave. And this is how far I've gotten. The bird is mostly in, and I've started on her sun hat. It's going to be big and beautiful, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's fun pulling out stuff that you haven't worked on in the last couple weeks. You get a little more fired up about those. All right, let's see what else we have. Oh, this one's a good one too. Okay. This is Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's called the Nordic Heart. And it looks like this. And I'm stitching mine on 32 count Stormy Night, and it is just this Zweigart. It's almost like a, it's just one of the Zweigart colors. There are a couple of them that are variegated. And I have stitched the bottom part of the heart. And this is kind of a wrinkly mess, but I'll hold it up. I took away the two motifs at the bottom and inserted a V and a T for Vivian Thomas. He is, you can look back on one of my videos where I started this. I'll try and figure out which video it is. Vivian Thomas is a, he has since passed away. He was a high school educated Black man that was responsible for the surgical procedure that cures blue babies, and blue babies are children that have a heart problem that's called tetralogy of Fallot, and my son has that. And so I am stitching this in honor of Vivian Thomas, and I'm stitching it for my son. So anyways, he is a fascinating human being. There is a movie about him called Something the Lord Made, and you can find it on YouTube if you should be so inclined, and if you're not, that's a-okay too. My next one is Praiseworthy Stitches. And I haven't worked on this one in a little while. I need to pull it back out. I guess it's been a couple, maybe a month or two. It's so pretty. And I coffee and tea dyed this piece of 36 count myself. It was just a white, or I think it started off antique white and then I coffee tea dyed it. All right, here's another Mirabilia. This one is called, I think, Sleeping Princess. This is what she will look like. I'm still in the bottom mattresses. I am stitching this on, this looks like, I'm gonna guess that this is, I don't see my sticker. I'm typically pretty good about this. This looks like 32 count Platinum Lugana. And I'm in the bottom mattress. Long ways to go, but it's a beauty. I'm gonna keep after it. So pretty. And the next one is a Kathy Barrick, another bird. It's Cooper. And I have not worked on Cooper in a while. I need to pull him out. And I believe he is on 40 count. I know I have my sticker on him someplace. There he is. 36 count Platinum. And I'm using called for threads, and this is how far I've gotten on him. This is his tail. This is the branch that he is sitting on, and I've started some of the letters. And it's all in DMC. And I love him. He needs some love. He needs some attention. Okay. This is also a fairly new start. It is out of this book that I know is hard to find. The designer is Veronique Angèle. I'm sure I am mispronouncing that, but that's all right. I do my best. And this is the piece that I am stitching. This is the name of the piece. And that is what it should look like when it's complete. I have started with the tiny butterfly in the middle, at the top of the 3 small butterflies. And I have this on 27 count banding in antique white, and this is how far I've gotten. And that little butterfly is complete, and it's beautiful, and it only has 2 DMC colors. Very budget friendly if you already own the book. And it's just plain Zweigart banding, nothing fancy. Okay. Over some more. All right, the next WIP that I'm sure I will pull out in February is out of this book for my friends. It's Blackbird Design. And it's Love One Another. Let's see, it might actually be on the back. Here's a better picture of it though. This is what, yeah, this is what it will look like when it is complete. And I don't know that I've worked on this since last February. This one, this is my February piece. Let's see, got something behind it. This is how far I've gotten here. And I am using NPI silk. And it's beautiful. I love that one. Okay. No rush on that one either. A lot of mine I just am not in a big hurry on. Okay, the next one is another long dog. And this one is the new normal. And I'm stitching this on 56 count cream Zweigart. The chart was gifted to me by my husband, and the fabric was gifted to me by my mother-in-law. I'm using DMC 930. And here's where I am. Got a long ways to go, but I'm off to, oh, that's the back. I do that sometimes. I think everybody, all floss tubers have done that on occasion. There's the front. Most recently, I finished that little elephant and kind of brought things down and in. I have a big chunk of the border finished, which is great because I can work down off of that. Okay, next up, oh, love this one. This is Harriet Tubman by the Primitive Hair, and I'm stitching this on a 30 count mystery fabric. And so let me just show you what I have. This arrived to me mislabeled as 40 count, which is fine. But I just had it in stash, and then when I went to go stitch something that I needed a 40 count for, it didn't work. And this is where I am on, maybe that's even better. Okay, this is where I am on Harriet Tubman. I have finished, I think the most recent thing that I did was I worked on the little handkerchief or collar around her neck. I have a hard time telling exactly what it is, but it's part of that photo that is that photo of Harriet Tubman. And so this is how far I've come, and I look forward to, I pull this out every few months, and I need to pull this one out again. It's just beautiful. The colors are gorgeous. I love everything about this piece. And it's on a really loose weave, and so I keep it in a Q-snap. Okay, so this one I have kind of hemmed and hawed, and this one is going to be restarted. I had this, this is the Prairie Schooler Starry Night. I started this on, I think maybe 28 count even weave, and it's bright white, or the Wise Men. And I'm gonna restart this on, I think that that these ornaments would stand out too much because all of my other tree ornaments are on like almost like a beige, neutrally beige color, and I think that the bright white would just be too stark in comparison to the rest of them. So I think I'm gonna restart it. I still love these these smalls. They're really great. So I just need to set this aside as a restart and get back to work on that. I might set it with my Christmas ornaments. I'm gonna put it over there. Okay. Moving on from my runaway WIP. Lady Liberty by Brenda Gervais. Let's see, I always hold this incorrectly. And she is sometimes difficult to see. Let me get her where you can. And I've made I did a skin conversion. I am stitching her on 36 count flax. And this is my very first skin conversion. And so I am showing myself some grace with the appearance of it. I don't think that it's perfect, but I'm gonna finish this. I considered whether or not I am finishing this. I did a skin conversion and I used, let's see, I used a wool for the hair. That was, I used Classic Colorworks Caterpillar for the hair. This was a tip that I got from the Sunshine Stitchers when they said that when I forget if it was Gary or Shilia, one of them said that that stitching with wool, if you're trying to emulate different hair types, that stitching with wool gives you a different look. And I agree. I mean, it's a really, really good look. I'm happy with the hair. I'm happy with the skin too. It was my first time. I probably could have done a better job with some of the shading and things, but I'm gonna show myself some grace and finish it off. It's wonderful and it represents what I was trying to represent. And so there you have it. And she needs to come out again soon. Okay, the next piece that is a WIP, and it has been, the title of this book is uses dated language, and so I apologize about that, but I do love the projects in here. This is by Leslie Tier. The name of the book is Oriental Cross Stitch, and the name of the specific design that I'm working on is Oriental Landscapes, and I am working on the project in the middle. And I have gotten this far. There are a lot of French knots in my future, and I think that that's one of the reasons that I look at this one sometimes and I'm like, maybe later. There are a lot of French knots left. And when these three are complete, I've already purchased the frame that I'm gonna put these in. This one is, I believe it's called the Japanese Sampler by Modern Folk Embroidery. So when these three are finished, and then here's another Leslie Tier piece that's already complete. When these three are finished, I will be coffee and tea dyeing all three of them, and I have frames ready to go, and they will go together. I'm gonna frame them myself, and they'll be, that will be done. I will be finished there. I'm not doing all three of those pieces. The next one, oh my stars, I need to work on this so bad. Here we go though, that's okay. All right, this one is Consider the Lilies, and it is beautiful. So many people are working on this right now. The colors are just so pretty. I am stitching this on 36 count Winter Moon. And let's see, I have finished the outline of the border and it all met up. I have yet to add a single color. I've used 2 greens and that's it. So, you know, I mean, I'll get to it when I get to it. It's okay. It's fine. Everything's good. Towards the end of this pile are things that I haven't worked on in quite some time, unfortunately. But I'll get back to them. I always do. I touch everything once a year. There's, I think, one exception, but I do touch everything once a year. This one I'm pretty on the fence about, friends. This has been going on. This was one of my, this was an early WIP. This is probably my second oldest WIP that I currently have. Satsuma Street Forest of Sumatra. Satsuma Street 12 Days of Christmas. I started stitching these as ornaments. And then I decided to stop. And then I decided to stitch this as the sampler. And this is where I am. And this is on 18 count Ada. And I'm just not feeling it. This is probably the piece that I am the most on the fence about. I'm kind of wondering if I'm gonna hang on to that one. The next one I have is A Wonderful Cause. It's the Jessie Watson Hands Across the Sea sampler. And there is a SAL for autism going on with this one. And I joined the SAL, and I've never joined a SAL before, and now I've learned that I'm not a SAL gal. I wish I were, but this is how far I got on mine, and I'm gonna leave it like this in case I decide to come back to it. I'm wondering if it's because I have a another autism awareness piece going on at the same time that it feels a little bit redundant. I'm not sure, but gorgeous. So I'm hanging on to it. I'm not doing away with it or anything else. I'm just gonna hang on to it, and maybe when I wrap up my other autism awareness piece, maybe this will be the one that I'm drawn to next. We'll see. We'll know in April, won't we? Next up, I have Walter. This is apparently the Hands Across the Sea. Excuse the racket, someone's in the kitchen. And Thomas. And I have really, really gotten a lot done on him. Prepare to be blown away. Boop. That's it, friends. Yay! So I love him. I need to pull him out. I need to make like a day of the week where I work on my birds. And put him and Cooper and Polly and several of my birds into rotation and see if I can get some of these knocked out. I just, I think that might make the most sense for me, is just to figure out how to add them to rotation. Golly, I forgot to unzip several of these. Okay, so my next piece is a Reflet de Soie. It's Lita Paupin, and she's beautiful. I'm stitching her on a different, I'm stitching her on 36 count light mocha, and I made a lot of color changes with her. This one comes off really, parts of it are super pastel, and that's just, it's very, very pretty. I just wanted to do something a little bit different, and so my colors are maybe a little bit deeper and richer. And she's here. I haven't worked on her in a few months, but I'm thinking that maybe when I finish working on my Brigid Power, I might pull her out to again more often. They both have like an altar as the whoa, out came some floss. An altar as kind of the central motif, and I'm wondering if it's just a little much for me to be working on both of them at the same time, that there's something kind of familiar about stitching on them both. And so I think I'm gonna tuck this one away. I like the progress. I'm gonna hang on to all my flosses and everything and get back to it at a later point. I still love this piece. I don't wanna do away with it. But I'm gonna tuck it away for a little while, and that's okay. She's probably about a fifth or a sixth of the way done, maybe a fifth of the way done. And so, you know, I'd like to complete her. I've invested a lot of time. What's this? Oh, my stars. Okay. This one I need to set out. There's an error in this one, and it's my own mistake, and I love this piece. I wanted to finish this as an anniversary piece. I'm just not sure which anniversary it will be finished in time for. Birds to the Bow by Lindy Stitches, and it is gorgeous. The color palette is right up my alley. I'm stitching it on 28 count Whisper Lugana. And I mentioned last time that you could tell that I just left that dangling thread. I do not have, some of my all-time favorite stitchers can use like 4 or 5 different threads and have them, oh, like the parking method. When I see people using the parking method, my brain explodes. I tuck away every single thread when I'm finished with it. I will actually, like, if I have to get up and go do something, I will tie off right then so that I can figure out where I am. My brain just, I have so much respect for people that can have multiple threads going at the same time. My brain does not work like that. But on this particular one, I just put it down and walked away, and I just need to get in there and do some frogging, and it will be fine, and I will move right along with that. I'm gonna put this on my to-do pile, which is growing. And that's okay. Looks like I know what I'll be up to in August. Okay, let's see. What is this? So beautiful. Foxy Rabbit. Charlotte Mills. I'm still working on the border. And I am stitching this on 40 count light mocha. She's a beauty. I feel like the standout of this is the border. I mean, it's all gorgeous, but that border is so unique. Sorry about the dogs. And show you where I am here. Not too far, but it is, the border is complex, and I'm just gonna take my time. I enjoy this piece. I enjoy it every single time that I work on it. It is so beautiful, but I need to break it up with stitching that requires a little bit less brain power. Fill-in stitching type of stuff on occasion. Okay, what do I have here? Oh, my stars. Okay. This one is my Spanish Rose sampler by Hello from Liz Matthew, and I'm stitching it on 40 count Alabaster. And several of my pieces are, I just need to put them into my rotation more often so that I can get them to a finish. This is where I am. And it's beautiful. I love the colors. I love everything about this. She just needs to fall into rotation more frequently. Okay, let's see. This is my SL 1862 small sampler by Leela Studio. And I am stitching this on a piece of 36 count Abecedarian. And I'm here. It's beautiful. This is this also falls into the category that I would probably put that little Spanish sampler, this one, and maybe the cranberry plant, is that what it's called? By Filigram. Like, if I would just put them in my rotation a little bit more frequently, they would get knocked out quickly, but that's not really how things happen over here, and that's okay. All right, let's see. I have 2 more. Whoops, this one's already open. The next piece is Octopus Garden by Blackbird Design. And this is on a piece of 32 counts RIP dyed. I RIP dyed this myself. It's on the same piece as the Yellow Submarine that I finished for my youngest daughter, and now I am I'm working on the Octopus Garden, and they will both hang in her bathroom in a little girl's, well, not a little girl, teenage girl's bathroom with a bright white frame. You can see how pretty the white is with that turquoise. And this is where I am. And I have changed a lot of the colors. I'm using all DMC, but I am using some of the DMCs that are variegated. So, like the waterline here. And all of the colors that I used for that one, other than, yeah, I think all of them were also used in this, so that they will look very much like a set when it's time to hang them. And all right, you know him, you love him. He's Hipster Joe. He needs to come out soon again too. He's by Panna, and this is where I am on him. He looks great. I am stitching him on the kit fabric, which is 18 count Black Ada. Okay, this is my oldest WIP. It's by Little House Needleworks, and it's called the Old West. I've made modifications to this. I'm stitching it 1/1 on 32 count, and I have changed the cowboys into cowgirls. I've changed the Alamo into the Fort Worth Stock Exchange, and rather than pine trees, I stitched like a little, I don't know, an oak, a non-pine tree. Something that's a little bit more Fort Worth looking than pine trees. Everything will be modified to represent Fort Worth, which is my hometown. And this is on Witchell 32 count golden needle. The last piece that I have is my only Heaven and Earth design, and I have not worked on it in over a year. And it's called, I believe it's called the Black and White Horse. I will include a photograph of what it will look like. It's on 25 count even weave, and it is 2/1 half cross. Yes, 2/1 half cross. And I'd still like to get back to it. I still love it. I just haven't stitched it in over a year. It needs to be stitched on. And guys, that's everything. I don't know how many WIPs it was total, but it was a lot, and that's okay. I love all of them. There's only maybe the Christmas sampler is the only one that I'm a little bit on the fence about keeping, and so we'll see. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful week before school starts for some of us, and I will see you all soon. Bye.